Fill us in about what the plans are for the Streamliner in 2016.
They're pretty much the same as they were in 15 and 14. Go 425. We've made engine changes, nose piece changes, got 500 more pounds of lead in the front of the car, getting the center of pressure and center of gravity sorted out. And so far, haven't been able to run the car. Just due to conditions out of Bonneville. But so we've wore the car out now, going over it, checking it, and losing 2 years has just been kind of devastating, really. Number one, I'm not getting any younger, and neither's my main driver, Mike. So I'm hoping somebody smiles on us real good this year, and we get to run the darn thing. I mean, for actually going on 3 years, we just never really got a chance to really run the car hard. We got that one exciting little piece in that's been up on YouTube and had really good, people enjoyed watching that. I hope we never get to make another one of those, but, and I don't think it will, you know. Had a long conversation with our friend Tom Birkeland, who I respect very much. He's probably the best aero guy there is. Tom would like us to put a wing on top of the car, and he might be right, but I keep going back to before we put the Hemi in, and when we still had the big Chevrolet engine in there, we went 412 miles an hour, pretty easy. Car drove nice, went straight. And when everything got mixed up is when we put the Hemi in, and the weight distribution in the car got turned around, and then in my wisdom, I took almost 200 pounds of weight out of the nose, which was exactly backwards of what we should have been doing. So when we made that real wild ride, the car was totally screwed up. I mean, it should have done what it done. And of course, Tom came down and figured out where we were backwards on the car. And as much as I respect Tom and his ability as an engineer, I'm going to run the car the way it is, because I can't get it out of my head that we already went 412 miles an hour with it. And Mike says he was happy with the car, a little bit light in the nose. And that's what brought us around to changing the nose piece on the car. And that's still an unknown to us, but I think we got rid of the lift. We got the center of pressure, center of gravity sorted out. And if it won't run 425, then I don't deserve to be involved in this sport anymore. I'm confident we got a good safe ride. And if it don't, somebody after I'm not in charge can put a wing on top of it. But I personally don't. I'm happy with the way the car performed when it got sideways. Didn't tip over. Mike was able to drive it out of that situation. So I think we got a good car. And now with the changes we've made, I think it's going to be a really good car. So we just need a good racetrack to find out. And until we see what's going on out of Bonneville, we're just going to be in limbo for another couple of months till we get a chance to go out and look at it and see if it's what's really going to be available for a racetrack. Streamliner in this configuration is an awful lot of work, and we will run 425 at whatever point in time we get a racetrack out there. I think once that's done, so am I, as far as 400 numbers. I got a whole collection of engines here, starting with the E on up, every classification. What I'd really like to do with the car after this 425 business is done, reconfigure it back to some of them small block Chevys, and got a couple of grandkids that would look real good in the 2 Club. Brady, Jeff's boy, he's been out there banging his head in Larry's Roadster for years, and they get real close, and they haven't just been able to quite get it over the hump. So we'll take a look at letting Brady run the car, and Andy. Get guys like Larry Lawson, who's worked forever on this thing, get him a ride in it. We can have a lot of fun with the car. We just got to get through the serious part. Not just everybody's going to get in there and go 425 miles an hour. I think Mike's still capable of doing that. Bear in mind, though, he is my oldest boy. And he's not getting any younger either, so I really, really hope this restoration program that the Utah Alliance and Save the Salt and all the good people that's been involved, hopefully we'll start seeing some results from that. No sense getting into a lot of conversation, but we've accomplished a lot in the last year about what, why, and how to proceed, and we'll let Mother Nature help us along with that. And but we had terrific response from the politicians, the Utah legislature, and I think we got a great program for the U.S. Congress to pick the ball up and maybe help us down the road a little bit. But we'll just let that work itself out. There's no sense getting into a lot of conversation about that at this point. Just hope for the best, and hope the mining company don't go out of business. We need them to help us get that place restored. And I believe worst case scenario, we'll probably be able to have a short course, maybe get a chance to run the Roadster. George Poteet's been awful kind. He still hasn't told me to bring it back, so hopefully we'll be able to get Andy his 200-mile-an-hour license, him and Larry, and that would be a nice accomplishment to have that out of the way. And the Roadster, we did a lot of work on that dang Roadster too. We changed the gear ratio in the back, got some different tires for it, some different shocks. It was fine the way George gave it to us, but in our tinkering wisdom, I think it might be a little better car now than when we first got it. But at any rate, if we don't get a long course, hopefully we'll get at least a course we can run the Roadster on and have some fun. In the meantime, while we've been with all this downtime, one of my favorite projects was a sprint car we built back in 1982, and it effectively affectionately became known as Frankenstein. And after an interesting battle with Universal Studios over the image of Frankenstein and the name, which they do own, and they were nice enough to give us a real workable licensing agreement, and we're happy to work with them on that deal. But I wrecked the car in 1985. It's been hanging in the rafters for several years. Cease McCrae and the rest of the crew decided, along with a little push from me, we're going to get that car restored, and I hope we don't have a lot of downtime from Bonneville, but it did give us a chance to get started on it, and we've made some real good progress with it. The car will probably end up back at Knoxville at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame for a year, whenever we get it done, and it'd be a nice place for it to rest for a while. 2016 could be the year if everything kind of gels, if the stars and the moon, the sun, and whatever other planets are involved will get on our side here. We can run that 425 right out of the box. I need to do that because my lung power is getting kind of weak here, and I'm not sure how many mornings I'm going to want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to Bonneville. From a personal standpoint, I need this thing to be, this has got to be our year. If, God willing, and the river don't rise, we have a nice 12-mile course. That's all we need. We can get it done. And not much down in my mind. But we need a little help from the moon, the stars, Jupiter, Pluto, whoever. Get in line, guys. We need you.